Welcome to SportsBeat KC, presented by Big O Tires, the Kansas City Star's daily sports podcast. It's Wednesday, January 15th, and I'm your host, Blair Kirchhoff. AFC Championship Game week is back in Kansas City, and today the Chiefs talked about the game, their opponent, the Tennessee Titans, their experience from playing in last year's AFC title game, and much more. You'll get perspective from several players, along with Coach Andy Reid. In our first segment, you'll hear the entirety of the news conference involving the team's two leaders, quarterback Patrick Mahomes and safety Tyrann Mathieu. Early on, the star Sam McDowell asked Mahomes about firing up the team after the Chiefs had fallen behind to the Houston Texans 24-0 last week. The Chiefs took Mahomes' message to heart, but what made Mahomes do what he did? He answers that question. Mathieu was asked a few times about being on the big stage, and a little over halfway through his interview session, he provided some insight about his previous team, the Arizona Cardinals, reaching a conference championship game, him not being able to participate because of an injury, and how heartbroken he was over that. After a break, you'll hear from Andy Reid, linebacker Anthony Hitchens, and offensive tackle Mitchell Schwartz. But first, here's Patrick Mahomes.
I think the biggest thing is just dealing with adversity. When you're playing in these type of football games, not everything's going to be great. You're not going to get everything the exact way you want it, but you have to find a way to win, find a way to fight. And I felt like this last game definitely prepared us with being down 24-0 of just finding a way to come out on top in the end.
Patrick, your teammates talked a lot about that speech you gave at the end of the first quarter, but they relied on that. But I'm wondering what you relied on to give that speech, and obviously, is anyone talking to you in those moments?
Yeah, I mean, we all kind of communicate with each other. I think that's the great thing about this team is that I'm not the only leader on this team. There's leaders all across the board at every single position group, all around the team, offense, defense, and special teams. But what I rely on is just going out there and competing. No matter what the score is, winning or losing, I'm going to give my best effort on every single play. That's how I've been. That's how I was raised. And that's how this team kind of flows.
What prompted you to feel like you needed to give that speech?
I just wanted to make sure everybody was still with the right mindset. With everything that had happened at the beginning of the game, I still felt like we were doing good things. We just weren't executing at a high enough level. So I just wanted to make sure that I kind of went to those guys and let them know that. And I think that just comes with just knowing your teammates, knowing how the game's going, and knowing how to get back on it and get back to where you need to be at.
Physically, how would you compare how you feel right now versus when you felt against the Titans back in week 2?
Yeah, I mean, definitely more comfortable. I think that's the biggest thing. Being that first game back off the knee injury, you don't know exactly what to expect. You trust the trainers, you trust all the doctors who say you're good to go, but you still don't know. You haven't ran at that speed with the pads on and game speed. So definitely feel more comfortable now, kind of having the games under my belt, and been lucky enough to have been healthy late in the season.
Now you're back at the weekend of the AFC Championship. What is your kind of feeling and anything you're trying to do differently going into this one from last season, since that was your first experience coming down 1-1 away from the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think just trying to prepare for everything. I think that's a big thing. Last year, they caught us a little off guard with the coverages that they played at the beginning of the game, and we made adjustments and were able to score points later in the game. But you want to make sure that you're just preparing for everything. You know that this is a good defense. They do a lot of different things, play a lot of man, they play a lot of zone. And so you know that they're going to throw different coverages out there against you. And so just trying to prepare yourself for whatever their game plan is and trying to adjust as quickly as possible.
Patrick, what sort of difference do you think Tyrann has made in his presence just with the team and in the room, as opposed to necessarily his great play? What influence do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's a natural-born leader. I mean, that's just who he is. He doesn't have to do anything other than be himself. He goes out there every single day. And just by his attitude, his mindset, he's leading other guys. And I think that's huge when you have guys like that around the team. And, I mean, obviously his play speaks for itself, but the way he's able to just every single day be great, I mean, it really does spread throughout the team.
When you say be himself, can you just elaborate on that? What do you see in him, the traits that make him himself?
I mean, you see it in practice every single day. I mean, y'all see how he acts and how energized and how he's really – going as hard as you can every single play. He does that exact same stuff at practice, and it's funny to watch. At the same time, it inspires you to be great every single day, every single play, and that's just the type of guy that he is.
Do you compete with him that way? terms of trying to have that kind of energy and bring that to?
Yeah, I mean, I always try to bring energy to practice and do those things. But I think the best thing about this team is that everybody does that. And if someone is not having the best day, we pick each other up and go out there and feed off each other's energy. And so I think that it's great to have guys like that all throughout the team.
After last year's title game, Travis revealed that maybe you guys weren't necessarily ready for the physicality of what the Patriots brought. Different team this year. What can you do to ensure, okay, we're going to be prepared from the get-go, so maybe there isn't a deficit like that at that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, kind of like I said earlier, I mean, you have to be prepared for everything. I mean, the Titans are a physical team. They're a team that's going to get up and challenge you at every aspect of the game, offense, defense, and special teams. And so we understand that, and we understand that it's going to be a great challenge, but we're just going to prepare ourselves to be ready for whatever's out there and execute our game plan at a high enough level.
Regarding leaving the pocket, I mean, you just seem like you're back to where you were probably going into week one. I know there were some different injuries this year where you might have gotten more tentative. Are you 100% where you were mentally, willingness to go and get some yards if you need to?
Yeah, you have to be. I mean, whenever you're in the playoffs playing against these teams, these defenses that are great defenses, you have to be able to use everything that you can. And that if that calls for me scrambling, I'm going to do that. If it calls for me sitting in the pocket and making the throw, I'm going to do that. And I think that's the great thing about football is every game is different. You're going to have different things you can do one game you can't do another game. And so last week it called for me to scramble, and now this week we'll see what it takes to win.
Patrick, this is the last.
A couple of weeks ago that, one of the things that you really worked on was maybe not going for the home run all the time, that there's something else you can take. This game, you took off and ran. Was that an example of maybe taking instead of trying to force one down the field? And is that something you had to kind of check yourself? With all that emotion and you're pumped up and you're pumping your fist and talking to your teammates, did you have to remind yourself that maybe the home run would get you in trouble?
Yeah, I mean, I think I just understanding Coach Reid's game plan and knowing that the big plays are going to come and he's going to dial up the plays where you can take the shots. I think that having that experience more and more games that I really understand that more now and know that I'll obviously want to go for the big shot with all the speed and playmakers we have on the field, but just let it come to you and not try to force it.
Couple more guys. Patrick can talk tomorrow, so we'll do two more.
Patrick, the last game you all lost was against the Titans. What have you seen on film that makes both teams better than the last time you all played?
Yeah, I think, with the Titans, the physicality, the determination that they play with, offensive, defense, and special teams, they're going to get after it every single play. They're going to fight for every single yard. Their defense is going to fly around to the ball. They'll chase down a runner if he breaks. They're not going to give up on anything. So I think the biggest thing is just trying to match that, trying to go out there and give everything you have in order to go out there and play a good football game and try to come out with the victory.
What did you all learn from that loss?
Yeah, obviously that they're going to fight to the end. That was the first thing. Being up 2 scores late in the game like that, usually you're good to go and you can kind of just run out the clock. But knowing this team and their coaching staff and their players, they're going to fight to the very end no matter what.
That was Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Here's safety Tyrann Mathieu, who spoke to the magnitude of the game.
Still early in the week, but, a great opportunity to, obviously play in front of Kansas City and play in front of the world. And to be on this stage, I think it's everything you work for, especially myself, being in my 7th year, going through what I've gone through early in my career. To be in this position, it's a blessing.
Can you find yourself staying up late at night, 2 o'clock in the morning, knowing the game that I got coming up this Sunday?
Probably not 2 o'clock, but I'm up late at night right before I go to bed. I'm visualizing plays that need to be made. I'm thinking about what do the Titans like to do? What's their favorite route concepts? So I'm visualizing myself Sunday. Being a guy that can help my team.
I want to talk to you about tackling a lot of different people. Derrick Henry's kind of a different beast than maybe anybody else in the NFL right now. No defense is designed to have one-on-one tackles. So, how do you guys get yourself ready for bringing down guys hotter than anyone in history?
Yeah, man. They're so big up front. I think their offensive line is, really underrated. They're mean. They're nasty. They believe in themselves. They play together. And I think that ultimately they believe in the guy behind them. I think Henry, obviously put together a great season. Done a lot of great things for his team, and they're really leaning on him. And I think the mentality is, somebody's going to have to stop him. Somebody's going to have to make a tackle on him if we want to get to Miami. So, it's one goal, one objective to win the game. But in order to do that, we know we gotta slow down 22, no doubt.
When you guys played them, he ran for 188 yards. How do you feel your run defense
confidence as it has improved from that time since?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's a great back. It's hard to kind of keep those guys bottled up all game. I think the most important thing is, we got to finish the game strong. If you watch a lot of Derrick Henry, he gets stronger as the game goes on. His first halves, they aren't that great, but second half football, he takes off. So, we gotta be well rested, hydrated, in order to kind of finish the game. Really try to compete against him and slow him down when it matters the most in a fourth quarter. 4-minute drive, 6-minute drive, 7 minutes left. I remember last time we played him, it was 9 minutes on the clock. They were down by 9, and they kept feeding him the ball. So, you know that they believe in him. So,
Does he become more effective late because he's runs in a more determined fashion, or do defenders become wary of tackling him or physically tired of the challenge?
I think it's a combination of both. Like I mentioned, even when they're down, they're still feeding him the ball. So, it's kind of like, playing basketball and your coach tell you, keep shooting. And so you build that confidence. You know that your team believes in you. And I think that's the kind of confidence they're playing with. I think that's what they're, looking forward to. And it's been working well for them.
Tyrann, we see a lot of the X's and O's maybe that he implements, but personality-wise, what's his personality? How has that sort of been imprinted on the defense?
Yeah, man. He's a Christian man. A lot of faith. He's a believer, and I think ultimately he believes in us. I can remember earlier instances in the season where, we weren't necessarily playing well. He continued to be positive. Obviously, he detailed things much more, but I think he's always been about us. He's always been about his group, and I think he has a good feel for putting his guys in good positions and, positions that favor their abilities the best.
Tyrann, last week's game was your first extended playing time without Thornhill. How do you feel like you guys adjusted without him? And did his absence maybe have anything to do with that first touchdown that Houston scored the other day?
Well, I probably wouldn't say that. Just really miscommunication on our part. But I think no doubt we missed him. Made a lot of splash plays for us. So obviously, Dan, I have to step up again. I thought he played well last week. And, anybody that's filling in for him, just understand that, you're replacing a guy that made a lot of plays. So I think it's important to kind of keep that in your mind going forward, knowing that, your team needs you because – we counted on Juan, a whole lot throughout the regular season.
Back in 2015, you got hurt at the end of the year and the team made the championship game. What was that experience like, having to watch that and not being able to be a part of it? And does that make you, maybe anticipate this one a little bit more?
Yeah, man. I think back in 15, being a part of that team and obviously not being able to finish, it was devastating for me. I really felt like, I was a part of that team and, I had a certain identity within that team and to not be out there, you can see it affect your team in a sense. But I think now, man, I'm so blessed, so fortunate to be healthy, to be around people that believe in me. And I think ultimately all those things has really helped me kind of take a step back, reflect on this week, and, be grateful of the position that I'm in right now.
Our first day is stopping their run. What about A.J. Brown? He's super explosive all year, been limited in the playoffs. How much attention does he demand from you guys?
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's a rookie, but he's a great receiver. I think he has a lot of potential. Obviously, his production speaks for itself. I think the most important thing with him is when he catches the ball, tackle him. He's one of those guys, when he gets his hands on the ball, he can make a lot of people miss. So I think that's the part of his game that really separates him from most rookies and most wide receivers in the league.
Last three, Karen, James, Pete, and Murphy.
So when you come off a game like the game you guys had, to win it the way you did, to be down, to have the leadership step up, and then to just totally turn the tables and have the victory of 20 points. How does that help you and prepare you for the next level that's harder and more pressure and more physical? Is that almost like the best way to prepare for the next big game?
Yeah, I think this week, I think it's an emphasis on really a sense of urgency, right? You want to get out there. You want to start the game faster. You want to start the game better. Obviously, defensively, can't have any blown coverages on the first series. Got to be able to tackle and get off the field in the first series. And so I think that's our mindset. So I think it was good to kind of go down 24-0 last week. And obviously to win that game was good. But I think it gave us some coaching points, gave us some things that we could work on. And so that's what we're going to do this week.
Tyrann, I'm curious what you were going through your head when you were watching these guys play in the AFC Championship last week, probably on TV wherever you were at, and you didn't know you'd be coming here. What's it like now that this is kind of something that you're finally getting a chance to do, that you've watched your team and now you watched them probably last year, get a chance to be a part?
Yeah, man, like I said, man, so grateful for the opportunity to really be in this position. Obviously, I knew when I came here it was going to be a lot of hard work to get back to this point. So really more, not so proud of myself, but proud of everybody around me. The commitment that everybody really had, even our younger guys. I think everybody's committed, and I think the coaches are doing a great job as well.
Aaron, on day one, you were unafraid to just say, I'm here to be a leader. When you were voted a captain, guys pointed to their helmet like you do and saying things like the swagger and the landlord. Do you feel like, and I know you have more to play for, that you kind of accomplished that in a sense of becoming what you wanted to be?
Yeah, and I think ultimately, my job isn't done, and I think being a leader, being a guy who has, big picture goals, I understand that, in order to really accomplish something, you gotta finish it. So I think that's my mindset to never really get caught up on, being an all-pro or being a leader or being a landlord. Obviously, it's good to kind of have those feelings and emotions, but I think ultimately, my only job here is to finish the job.
If your steering wheel has more traction than your actual tires, that's a big O no. Thankfully, for all your car's big O no's, there's always a big O yes. Now through February 2nd, buy 3, get 1 free on select sets of 4 Aspen Touring AS or Mesa AP2 brand tires with paid installation purchase. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Disposal fees extra and up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price not to exceed $35 where permitted. See store for pricing. Eligibility may vary. Not valid with other offers. At participating locations, no cash value.
Hey, it's Blair. Hey, we have a special subscription offer for SportsBeat KC listeners, unlimited digital access to the Kansas City Stars award-winning sports coverage. Sign up now for 1 year of Sports Pass for access to all the sports news, features, and columns we have to offer. And it's only $30. That's a 40% savings off our regular rate. For your convenience, your subscription will automatically renew after the initial term at $50 unless you tell us to cancel. A lot of subscription services won't tell you that. They'll just sneak it on there. We just told you. Your subscription helps support the sports coverage of kansascity.com and the Kansas City Star. Please visit kansascity.com/SportsBeatKC offer to get this special offer. And as always, thanks for listening.
Andy, how valuable is your experience in these games, and how have you tried to take advantage of it?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I have done a few of these, and we try to keep it as normal as we possibly can as far as the schedule goes for the players, so they can get their work done and stay within the routine of how they get themselves prepared. Likewise with the coaches, as best you can, without having to travel up to do press conferences and that. So I try to stick to that, but I've done that majority of the time. I understand. I've been there. I understand how fast the game is. I mean, I can tell you that from experience, and the magnitude of it obviously is every time you take a step up in the playoffs. It's obviously still single elimination, but the magnitude's bigger, I guess you'd say.
How do you anticipate, how much do you anticipate Travis?
Yeah, he'll do some work. Yeah, he'll work.
Full load?
Yeah, well, I mean, today's a little bit lighter day, so see, feels better this week than he did last week, so that's a good thing. But we'll see. We'll give him the stuff he needs done and get that work in.
Nobody do what they ask, but your team's 1-8 record against Titans. Sort of common thread through that. There's some crazy games and some really strange bounces in the games.
Yeah, they're all different. Heck of a record, though, isn't it? Not very good. I mean, Ted was telling me about it. I normally don't keep track of those things, but Ted reminded me before I got in here that you guys would ask. So I got to do better on my end. My players, they've won more games than I have against them. You know, some of these guys. So you know, I'm just going to bank on them.
Andy, you mentioned the other day, it seems the parallels between with Patrick's influences on the team and the offense and Tyrann's influence too. I wonder if you might be able to elaborate on that. What are the common denominators they bring both the room and the sides of the ball?
Yeah, they're very similar personalities, different backgrounds and all that. I mean, you know, they're different people. So, but their ability to lead men, I think, is common. They've got an easy way about them where they can analyze a situation and come to the players with clarity on it. Good communication skills, and I think both of them love to play. You know, I always joke the Badger that we just kind of unlock the cage and he makes all these funny noises, comes out and plays his tail off. But he's a tremendous communicator and loves the game. And like Patrick, he studies like crazy to make sure he gets everything down. And then he's got those instincts. So they're very similar in those areas.
Did you say something about both of them that they, in their first years of really playing with a team, that they can play such a prominent role in terms of their voices? Right away, they're respected.
Yeah, there are different levels in their career, age by age and years. But I think that common denominator is that leadership and feeling comfortable in their own skin. So they're not afraid to step out. They don't worry about what anybody else thinks or says or does. They know right from wrong, and however they got to that point, they know that, and so they're able to communicate that and make sure that the locker room is right. And we have other guys too that are good leaders too in there, so that's very helpful.
That was Chiefs head coach Andy Reid. Here's linebacker Anthony Hitchens on the Chiefs' defensive priority number one, stopping Titans running back Derrick Henry. Later, you'll hear Hitchens speak to the nonverbal communication he's developed with safety Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of us, you know, hitting him and tackling him more than one guy. He's a big guy, strong, physical, all the tools, you know. That's why he's running, you know, wild right now. So it's going to take, you know, all of us hitting him and wrapping him up and trying to get him down. But
he seems to carry like 5 people with him and get a few more yards after that.
Yeah.
Is there a way to keep that from happening?
Yeah, you guys just take his legs out. We talked all week to kill the engine, hit him in his thighs and his legs, chop him down. When you tackle him high, he tends to, you know, carry you for about 5 more yards. So hit him low and all league on within the game, but just you got to just hit him lower.
Anthony, what tells you guys are in better position now to slow him down and play better against that team than you did the last time around?
Yeah, our teams grew so much since then. We top defense in the past couple of weeks, or past 6-7 weeks. So, and we've been focusing on the details of our defense. It's very detailed, and one guy miss a assignment or a gap, you can get gashed. Just like we played them last time, we hold him pretty good for 3.5 quarters, and he busted with a 70-yard run on us. So. Try not to let that happen again and play 4 quarters of great defense, and I think we'll be all right.
I mean, there's been this video going around where Travis and Patrick, they're sort of thinking the same. Do you get the sense that based on your communication this year that maybe you and Tyrann have a similar sense now where you can kind of have a feel for each other?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I could think of a couple plays where there were times in practice where my guy went to the flat real fast. I could just picture this last week, and he actually took my guy, and I stopped mid-play and then took his guy. It was just one of those, and then when I seen that happen, I'm like, okay, now we're kind of like playing off each other, and we're drilling and stuff like that. And we got one mindset as a defense and pretty much as a team. So a lot of guys are thinking alike, and it's pretty much just, you know, show up and compete and get guys lined up so we all can play fast.
Is that simply reps, or do you think maybe there's a special connection or a special type of player? Like, what leads to that?
Just reps, being around each other. Playing ball. It takes a lot. That don't happen overnight. The more time you spend with each other and play in a lot of games in practice. Reps, every rep counts, so it just keeps building and building.
That was Chiefs linebacker Anthony Hitchens. Here's offensive tackle Mitchell Schwartz, who always has something interesting to say. In this interview, he was asked if it helped knowing the Chiefs were capable of overcoming a large deficit like they did last week in Houston. I think you'll be surprised and enlightened by his answer.
I'd say not really, because if we didn't already believe that, we wouldn't have been able to come back. And so, if anything, it could be counterproductive where you just think too highly and you don't necessarily work quite as hard throughout the week as, oh, we got this. If something happens, we'll be okay. But I think we didn't prove anything to ourselves last week. I think we always had that belief, and so just because it kind of gets the external view, that doesn't really change what we already know.
In what specific ways have you guys benefited from Andy's experience in game like this?
Yeah, it's huge. He's kind of been there and pretty much done it all, and so having him on the sideline and people have asked what was said during the first quarter, what's going on over there, and to me the biggest thing was nothing really out of the ordinary. He didn't throw a fit. No one was going crazy. We just just keep going, keep plugging. We know that we're good enough when we're playing well to not necessarily put up that many points every time, but we're pretty good when we're playing well, and so just gets back to the trust issue and being able to have trust in a head coach to keep believing in us, keep calling the plays that we had guys open the whole first quarter. We just weren't executing, and so he just kept giving us the awesome play calls, and obviously he's the best at that.
That'll do it for a busy day on SportsBeat KC, presented by Big O Tires, the Kansas City Star's daily sports podcast. Hey, the Stars are working hard to bring you the best coverage of the Chiefs in the playoffs with columns, feature stories, special sections, up-to-date news, photos, videos, and this daily podcast. We do it for you. Thanks to Randy Mason and Derek Donovan for producing today's show, and links to stories can be found in the show notes on kansascity.com and the Red Zone Extra app. We'll be back on Thursday talking Chiefs. Hope you'll join us.